TalkFCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys. Come on, let's start the video in the same way. Your daily reminder here that our coach is none other than Quique Setien. And in today's video, there's going to be much more talk. Of course there is. We are going to be talking about how Barcelona could be lining up under Quique Setien's management. Who's the players who could thrive under him? What sort of system are we going to see? And what formations can we expect under his control? There is so much to discuss. So let's not waste another second. Let's get down to business. And before we do move into the different systems and the different formations we could see from Setien's Barça, what I have to say before we go on to that is all about the personnel, all about the players here that we could see featuring under Setien. And what I would say is, wipe the slate clean. And what I mean by that is, a player that didn't perform and that didn't impress under Ernesto Valverde might not necessarily be exactly the same player under Quique Setien. You will be amazed at what different coaches can bring out of players, the influence they can have on their performance. And I would just say, let's just see who can flourish under his management, because the one player that I'm thinking about right now is Sergio Busquets, somebody there who came under unbelievable criticism under Ernesto Valverde's reign, who I think really suffered due to the system and the erratic play around him. But you look at him right now, he's 31 years old. He's not over the hill. He's not ending his career. 31 is absolutely nothing. And a lot of people will say, you know what, he's so slow. He's somebody there who's lost his pace. Well, you know what? He never had pace, even under Pep Guardiola. Busquets was still slow, but it's not about the athleticism. It's not about the way that he can carry himself over the pitch. It's what he does with the ball, and he's one player that I can really see under Quique Setien. He'll love him. He admires him. You've seen them exchange shirts before, and I think Busquets there, once again, will be an integral part of this Barcelona team. I'm not saying that he's going to play every minute of every game, but he is going to be there, the central hub. Everything there can go through him. Busquets might be about to re-emerge. And I think two potential players that you have to look at as well as possibly there really finding themselves under Quique Setien are both in the full-back areas. Number one, I'm very, very interested to see what Nelson Semedo can do under Setien, because the only coach you've ever seen him under is Ernesto Valverde. It's safe to say that Valverde never really had confidence in Semedo. He never really flourished under his management. What will he do under Quique Setien in an entirely different Barcelona system? And the other player is a player that Setien knows very, very well. Junior Firpo, a player that was brought in the summer on that left-hand side. We've seen glimpses of him. I don't think Valverde either trusted Junior Firpo all that much, but Setien knows him very well. He's worked with him before. He flourished there in Setien's back three system. Very, very interesting to see how Firpo gets on under his old coach, Setien. And let's start here by kicking off with the traditional Barcelona 4-3-3 system. And again, in all of these formations, all of these systems, don't get too bogged down there with the personnel. The players out there, they will change, because that's the beauty of it right now. We don't know who Setien is going to favour. We don't know who he's going to take to. And it's all about seeing how these players perform under him. But let's look here at the 4-3-3. I think certainly you'd look here in the right back area. Is that going to be Sergio Roberto, or is that going to be Nelson Semedo? But what you'll have here is a very different 4-3-3 to what we saw under Ernesto Valverde, simply because we'll be using these full-back areas much, much more. Because under Valverde, I think Jordi Alba certainly got forward a great deal there down that left-hand side, but down that right side, it was very much broken there, with Semedo not really advancing, and also there Lionel Messi coming into quite a central area. Now under Setien, it's going to be really fascinating to see here. Once those full-backs there are pushed up, the centre-backs we know will split. They'll be very, very high in the field, and Sergio Busquets will be the man there that drops in between the two. You've then got two midfield players there who are very, very technical. And then it's all about that front three. Are we going to see Lionel Messi, like under Valverde, come very, very central? Then again, you're asking a lot here of the players on the right-hand side. But I think what we might see, actually, is Messi just stay a little bit wider. You've got somebody there like Antoine Griezmann, who may or may not be in that central role. There are different variations on that. You've got somebody then like Ansu Fati. Until Dembele is back, Fati will certainly receive games out wide, but I think here they might almost be like inside forwards. They're going to be here very, very close to the centre forward. We've seen that there in all of Setien's teams, but I don't think they're going to be very, very narrow or very wide. They're going to rely there on the fullbacks to provide the width. They're going to come quite narrow, but they're not going to be directly behind Griezmann, whereby we completely lose our width and depend too much on the fullbacks for that width. But potentially, when you've got Ousmane Dembele back, and even without him, maybe we could see Lionel Messi play a central role, but a specifically central role here in a false 9 position. And what that would mean is Messi there would be technically the centre forward player, but he would drop very, very deep there, as he likes to do to receive the ball. He would link up very nicely with that midfield. De Jong, Arthur Melo there, we've seen their combination play already with Lionel Messi, and then it's up to Antoine Griezmann to command that space there, make those in-to-out runs, and get into that number 9 role. And you've got Dembele over here, and I think that's a situation there that we'd all like to see at Barcelona. And again, those fullbacks are going to be nice and high, very, very involved. Setien's fullbacks will always give you that outlet there in the wider areas. However, when you are pushing those fullbacks there very, very high in the field, and both of them as well, Quique Setien is not going to mess around. He's very, very brave in the way that he uses his fullbacks. And certainly there then, you've got your midfield trio, you've got Busquets dropping in between the two, whether it's Samuel Umtiti, whether it's Gerard Piqué, whether it's Clement Longley, and then you've got your 3 forwards. What a lot of people there will be very, very worried about is this 3. Samuel Umtiti, whoever it is, Sergio Busquets there, and Gerard Piqué. What you would say there is when you're playing an incredibly high line, which we will see at Barcelona, when you've got those fullbacks pushed on, can those 3 cope against the very quick counter-attack? Well, what I would say to that is, potentially, we could be seeing there a back 3 at Barcelona. That's what we might see under Quique Setien. It's a system there that he's used at Real Betis on a number of occasions. This was often his go-to formation there. And what you might see there is just 3 centre-backs used for that added security. And then you'd lose a player in midfield, whether it be De Jong and Arthur Melo, whether it be De Jong and Sergio Busquets. And of course, there's still the opportunity to use Arturo Vidal. There's still the opportunity there to use Ivan Rakitic. And you would also have to say that when you use that back 3 there with that added protection with the additional centre-back, maybe Sergio Roberto there on the right-hand side could start to come into play. You've got that added protection. You don't necessarily need all of that pace from Semedo. And Roberto could work well there, certainly, link it up with that midfield, becoming the extra man as Quique Setien likes to do. But like I say, don't get too bogged down here with the personnel at Barcelona right now. What we're focusing on is that system. Are we going to see here that 3 at the back? Somebody there, Samuel Umtiti, Clement Longley, Gerard Piqué. 3 very good centre-backs. Then you've got 1 more player there to be in that area and cover in behind. When those fullbacks go on, you may have a little bit more protection. But what I would also like to say there on the defensive front is that people often forget the goalkeeper that we have at Barcelona. He's often forgotten. When you're talking there about a very high defensive line, this is what we're going to see at Barcelona. We're going to see the fullbacks incredibly high. We're going to really pin back the opposition, and you are going to have their Busquets dropping in between a 2, or whether it be a 3, there wouldn't be a Busquets, there would be there another centre-back. That's what we're going to see from Quique Setien's Barcelona. And all of that space there will be left in behind, and opponents will try to get in behind there. They will try to expose that. What I would say is, this man Ter Stegen will be huge, because Quique Setien, according to reports, he's asking Ter Stegen to take more risks, both in his distribution and also as a sweeper keeper. What we are going to see is Ter Stegen here playing very, very high, and basically, he's also going to be at times almost like an added centre-back. He's always going to be watching there for the ball coming over the top. He's going to be ready there to rush out and intercept things, rush out there and make sure he clears up the danger. Ter Stegen will be high, the defensive line will be high as well. And what makes the fullbacks even more important is that when we are this high in the field and you've got your defensive line nearly on the halfway line, the fullbacks, they're also vital going the other way. And that is why I think we will see Nelson Semedo for his speed. We're going to see Jordi Alba. We're going to see Junior Firpo for that pace, because they can recover. You used to remember it there with Dani Alves. Yes, he used to go forward time and time again, but also then when the ball was played in behind, when teams were on the counter-attack, he was also the man who was responsible there for getting back in and recovering there and waiting there for the defence then to take shape and get some support around him. So it's all about there protecting all of that open space, because what you get here, when you push players up this high and you get that far into the opposition's half, you've got domination. We are going to see Barcelona take control of games. We are going to see Barcelona playing the majority of the game in our opponent's half. That's what we want. But of course, when you are that brave, it does come with risk. Another system that certainly Quique Setien may opt with, he has done when he was at Las Palmas, a 4-2-3-1 formation. Again, when Ousmane Dembele returns, he'll add there another attacking threat to our team. And this is still with Griezmann playing as the number 9. Lionel Messi there, nice and central as he likes to be. You've got Dembele from the right, you've got Ansu Fati to the left-hand side. This is a formation that many of us wanted to see when Valverde was at the club. We didn't see it often enough, and I think that's simply because he was maybe not brave enough to do that there with all those attacking players. But then you've got to make sure you're very much set up in midfield with Arthur Melo, with Frenkie de Jong. You've also got players there who can come in, like I say, like Busquets, like Rakitic. We'll see who Setien likes to use. But it's going to be very, very interesting as well in the defensive areas. Are we ever going to see Clement Longley and Samuel Umtiti together? That's going to be fascinating to see. Will he drop Gerard Piqué at any point? Will he play those two together? Of course, they're two left-footed centre-backs, but at the same time, it will be fascinating to see. And like I say, Junior Firpo will be used, I'm sure of it, by Quique Setien. And one other player that I'd also like to mention, certainly there when you're looking at a 4-3-3 formation, is Carlos Perez. He's somebody, of course, who sometimes remains in the shadows. Ansu Fati, and rightly so, gets all of the plaudits. But Carlos Perez is a very, very good player, and he is kind of an inside forward. I think Setien could like that about him. I think we could certainly see a lot of Carlos Perez, also because he does support the fullback well. He is somebody who will work back. He will work very, very hard indeed. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Carlos Perez quite a few times throughout Setien's reign. And just like Carlos Perez, just like Ansu Fati, the youth players that we are definitely going to see under Setien, we've spoken about it in videos a lot already, but Riqui Puig is certainly going to get his moment to shine, because Setien so far is absolutely loving what he's seeing from Riqui Puig, and he can do anything in that midfield, whether it's there as an interior alongside somebody like Arthur Melo, they're playing just ahead of Sergio Busquets, or whether maybe when Frenkie de Jong comes back from suspension, maybe we could even see there Frenkie in the holding role, Arthur Melo here to the left-hand side, and Riqui Puig there to the right in that midfield. That would be fascinating, and that's the thing. Under Quique Setien, we can dream about this. Under Ernesto Valverde, we used to talk about these things, we used to want these things, but never truly believe we'd actually get to see them. But you know what? Under Setien, anything is possible, and that is why this truly is a brand new era. And whether you see a 4-2-3-1 formation, a 4-3-3, a 3-4-3, you don't know what you're going to get from Quique Setien, but the one thing that you can guarantee is that it's all about those combinations. On the field there, you've got your two centre-backs, you've got your full-backs, like I say, who are going to be heavily involved. Then you've got that midfield trio. You've got the three players in there who Quique Setien is going to depend on. They're going to link up. They're going to constantly try and create spaces, try and create triangles. And it's exactly the same there with the front three. We're not just going to see that front three stand still. We're not just going to see them take up the same positions time and time again. We're going to see movement. We are going to see fluidity. We're going to see players here moving around the opposition and waiting patiently for that moment to strike. And I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see all of this take shape. We're going to see Messi dropping in here. We're going to see Messi linking up in the midfield. We're going to see balls there played from Sergio Busquets up to Antoine Griezmann. And all the time, the team is moving around. The team is flexible. With Quique Setien, we are going to see there the art of passing and moving once again. And for Barcelona fans, that is exciting. So that there, guys, is everything that we can expect from Quique Setien at Barcelona. It is going to be fascinating to see the lineup against Granada this coming Sunday. And of course, in the lead up to that game, we are going to be speaking so much more about what we can expect this weekend. But really, anything can happen. Quique Setien is a guy who has a number of go-to formations, a number of different systems, but the one thing will remain. That philosophy, that identity, the way of thinking about football, that's going to be the constant. And for Barcelona fans, we are in for one incredible ride. I will see you soon, guys. Please leave your thoughts down below. What would you like to see Setien do at Barca? I will see you soon. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.